Every time he deviates from what would be a traditional approach to a verse, he explains it so powerfully that even if you don't agree with him, you at least understand where he's coming from, which I really enjoy that part of the process. But I don't use it as a proof text for something. But I will. I don't apologize for it. I love to use it, but I use it for passion, for inspiration.
It basically says what he's trying to do. And every Bible has an agenda, and he's been super clear with his. It's like, I want you to experience the passion God has for you.
That's it.
And that he's awakening in you. And I've purposely kind of chosen literary language that can do that powerfully.
The Message did that.
Totally.
I mean, some of the things that he said were so different than what I read here, but they were so profound that it was almost like his translation, if you will, was a commentary in a sense. It explained things that just made it clear.
Absolutely. Both Eugene Peterson and Passion, I treat them like commentaries or read them devotionally because they do unlock like, whoa, I've never quite seen that. And
the Phillips translation is another one. I used to love the Phillips, J.B. Phillips.
Absolutely.
For the same reason. I grew up with that one. That was the only one,
there were very few. We've always had these single person translations. It's just so funny that people just get wigged out about them at some point. At the church at various times get so frustrated and concerned about various translations. But hey, go look at your church history. There's been lots of translations over time, all to meet the needs of the community. Sometimes they had new translations because the Church of England was splitting from the rest of the church needed a translation. Other times it was from the Latin, and then it was from the Greek and the Hebrew. So the New King James that some people just are fanatical about was actually a response to a need, and had its critics in its day at the very beginning. Like one of the scholars that was popular at the time said, "I demand that it should be burnt, and I won't use it." So that was the critique of the New King James. So we kind of live in this odd fantasy, like there's just one or two really great translations, and we've been using a lot of different ones for a long time.
I like them. I like them.
We had the Living Translation, beautifully powerful. Again, it was a paraphrase. It wasn't a translation. The original Living was a paraphrase. Kenneth Taylor took the English and just made it more, kind of updated it, as I understand it. And then, but then the Living Bible was actually translated more from the Greek and the Hebrew at some point. And that's the difference between the paraphrase and the translation. But again, in the Jesus movement, you saw how powerful the Living Bible was for getting people into their word. And people were very critical of that, critical of him in that day. And it's just like this critical spirit, it ain't pretty, it ain't helpful. And it's been around for forever. And when we join it, we're not helping anybody.
Exactly. And the people who criticize the translations are usually very well educated, which isn't a criticism, but they can read the harder translations easier. Where you've got this brand new believer, they don't understand hither and thither and these and thous, which was what you had an option for in my day. It was Good News for Modern Man or King James, until the New American Standard came along, and it was in the 70s. And so you had some rough choices, and you get these brand new believers, they don't understand this